Hey everybody, and welcome to Moviegoer. I'm Max Forrest,
I'm Paul Hildy,
and here we're going to review Venom: The Last Dance.
and The Raid 2.
So without further ado, our reviews. So, Venom: The Last Dance. Likes, loves, and dislikes. Despite the bad reviews, there was a lot I liked. But before that, let's get the stuff I didn't like out of the way. Besides Eddie clearing his name in New York, who was that antagonist named Noel, who seemed to just sit in a chair? What did he want? I spent a lot of this confused as hell. Wikipedia explains Eddie and Venom are attacked by the xenophage, a giant creature, tracking them. Venom explains to Eddie that the xenophages, or whatever the fuck they're called, were unleashed into the universe by Noel, the creator of the symbiotes, to retrieve a codex. This can free Noel from the prison the symbiotes trapped him in long ago. Because Venom revived Eddie once before, he now carries a codex that the xenophaga has to now track. I disliked how hard to follow this story was, to the point where I had to go to Wikipedia just to understand it. Maybe it's just me, but I was lost. I'm getting to the stuff I liked, don't worry. Give me a minute. The first act is boring. We've seen Venom fight guys and bite their heads off before. Nothing new, and there was a lot of talking. Nothing new or stimulating. Right when I was ready to throw in the towel, it was in the second act where things got really charming and funny. Here's what I liked. He comes across two hippie parents and their kids who offer him a ride to Las Vegas. The whole sequence is charming and funny. Eddie would run into the Asian woman who works at the convenience store at the casino. What transpires to retro music in her hotel suite almost had me give a scene a love. I clapped in the theater at how ludicrous it was, and it filled me with joy. The ending had an overlong gigantic fight scene though, at Area 51. I started to zone out, but I always zone out when action is too long. That's why I'm one of the few people who couldn't watch Mad Max Fury Road. But in this film's defense, it is the final installment in the series, so maybe they deserve to have a blowout overlong action finale. Now this movie has a 41% on Rotten Tomatoes, but an 81% with audiences. This deserved a fresh rating from critics, at least in the 60s. Anyway, you have to give Tom Hardy credit for playing both Eddie and Venom. A great dual performance, and they have great chemistry. Something that could have gone majorly wrong, done seamlessly. I give it a big thumbs up.
Man, The Raid 2 is one of my favorite action crime thriller dramas ever. There was a comment in a previous video mentioning The Raid 2 and it got me in the mood to rewatch it, so thank you, Demon Disc, for the suggestion. So if you're a fan of the first one and loved the action but wanted more of an involved story, this is the perfect sequel. If you like the simple story of the first one, this might be a little too much for you. It takes place immediately after the first one. The main character, Rama, gets thrown into an undercover operation and must fight his way through various brutal set pieces to prove himself loyal to the crime lord and gather evidence to bring him down. It kind of reminds me of The Departed or Infernal Affairs, the way the crime drama elements work. It's about 2.5 hours long and you definitely feel it, but not because it's slow, it just covers a lot of ground, while also giving you bigger and more complicated action sequences. But one of the best fights is this climactic showdown towards the end, a one-on-one brutal battle between Rama and the main big bad sidekick. This fight has been analyzed to death over the years, so I don't need to go into excruciating detail over it, but man, the stakes are high, the emotion is raw, and the choreography is masterful. The camera work takes what made the first film unique and ramps it up while still keeping its identity. You might have heard other modern action films copy that The Raid style, or it looks like a Raid movie, similar to how Jackie Chan movies have their own style. Or how people copied the Bourne movies, that whole kind of style too. It has its own identity. But you guys probably know by now, I'm a sucker for interesting camera work. This is one of those movies that made me want to work in film. There's two very influential sequences that spawned countless copycats. A giant brawl in the prison staged to look like a big one-shotter, and a car chase sequence where the camera gets like passed in between the cars as they slam into each other. Truly amazing choreography and planning. The behind the scenes alone is just as mind-blowing as the film itself. This is one of those rare cases where a bigger budget was used properly, giving you more of what you want, raising the stakes, building the world and characters, and gives you a satisfying, thrilling experience. Unlike Joker 2. This is definitely a huge thumbs up, and a huge recommendation to watch both films if you haven't already. So, I know you're not a huge fan of very lengthy action scenes.
Yeah.
Now, you haven't seen the Raid movies, right?
I think I saw a bit of the first one.
Oh, alright. Yeah, I think I'm interested to hear your thoughts on them. Because I know the Raid 2 you might not like, because it does have those big, very long action scenes.
Well, there are action scenes that I love. I don't love when it just goes on and on and on, which is like the third act of a lot of Marvel movies. Action scene that I love. You ever see Old Boy?
Oh my god, yeah.
That hallway,
Yeah.
one shot, that I love. There's a comedy called Kung Fu Hustle. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
There's a great, I think it's like towards the beginning, and they're just kicking ass, these guys in this little village. I love that. there's certain action that I love, but when it goes on and on and on, like in Venom, I'm like, oh, I can't do it. It's just explosion, explosion, explosion. The Michael Bay thing, you know?
Yeah.
But like I said about Venom, it was the last one, so they might as well have had a giant blowout. Actually, it was Roger Ebert who said that he was going to give the first Transformers a 5 out of 5. But he gave it a 4 out of 5. It lost a whole star because the ending was just too crazy.
Oh, wow.
Long
Really?
and,
Oh, wow. Yeah, I was interested in hearing your thoughts on Venom 3 because I only ever saw the first one. And I actually watched it on a plane ride. I was shooting like a TV show thing in Tokyo. And
nice.
on the plane ride there, I watched Venom.
Did it have subtitles in Japanese?
No, no, it was in English, but yes, I like barely remember it. I remember like not hating it, but I wasn't really interested in seeing the second one. So, you know.
Yeah, here's something. There's a lot of anime that has really cool action.
Yeah.
Like Samurai Champloo.
I haven't watched a lot of anime, you know.
Everything Shinichiro Watanabe is great. Do you see Cowboy Bebop?
Yeah, I've heard of it. I've seen some stuff from it.
That has some great action. Yeah, so I love some great action, just not when it goes on and on and on and on.
It drags on.
But you like that.
I like action scenes. I mean, martial arts films, just in general, are some of my favorite genre of movies. The thing that I like about like the Raid 2's action though is that there's stakes to every scene. Like each scene advances the story. It's not just a bunch of explosions and guys, breaking bones just for the sake of looking cool. Like it actually advances the story.
Yeah, that's cool.
But I am aware that it's not everyone's cup of tea. The Raid 2 does, like I said, ramp it up. So it is a lot. But I love that. But the Raid 1 or the Raid Redemption, as it's called. I think you give this one a shot. Watch it all the way through. I think you'll really like the first one.
Okay. Successful, huh?
Yeah, I think that was really good.